break. Oh, jeez. We are live. Good evening. Nobody's watching. But we are live. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Bill's Box of Sound. So there. Uh-oh. Oh, we got somebody in the room. Marty Chip. Cool. Hello, Marty. Sup? Good to see ya. The stream has started. Oh. We got noises. We are going. And lots of stuff to do tonight. All right. That's enough of that. Good evening. Welcome to stream number 76. Good evening, Kevin. Thank you for enjoying the music. I do it for my own entertainment as well as yours. And Kevin has been a very good friend to me, and so good, in fact, that I once confessed to him about how bad of a guitar player I really am. And he says, "You're not a bad guitar player." And that felt really good to hear from somebody like Kevin, because he's a guitar teacher. He knows his shit. Anyway, so, good evening. Roman will not be joining us this evening. He has chosen not to stop by. That's his prerogative. That's cool. Anytime that he's available, happy to have him in. We have a lot of fun with Roman on this show. But my name is Bill. This is Bill's Box of Sound. Thank you for joining us tonight. As we do most Saturdays here, checking out the tunes and drinking some beverages and showing some music, talking about music, listening to me cough and all sorts of things. A big thing happened yesterday. Wow. It was a 50th anniversary of Aostrophe. Yes, the album that has this picture on the cover. That's right. The Emerson and Lowe photograph that has become iconic in showing Frank Zappa. And hopefully something will be done to commemorate the 50th anniversary of that album. I don't know what. And to the diehard Zappa fans that tune into this live stream on a regular basis, there's been some rumors about new releases coming out, and hopefully we'll find out in about a week or two about what is coming next down the Zappa pipeline. I don't know what it is, but as soon as it is, we're going to be talking about it a lot right here. But while we're talking about Zappa stuff, we might as well cover our Zappa anniversaries, okay? So yesterday, the 22nd, was the 50th anniversary of Aostrophe. And then today was I believe this is going to be the, 90, 30th, no, it's okay, 90, 1, 2, yeah, 31st anniversary of this one right here. The Mothers of Invention, ahead of their time. This was recorded back in, let's see, what was the date? Was it 68? Let's take a look. And then we're going to take a couple of looks at the two CD packages that made this up. Here's the booklet, which is a kind of a little mini poster. Excuse me. Got all of this stuff right here. Wonderful artwork by Mr. Calishangle. And this was recorded in October of 1968 at the Royal Festival Hall. And has Frank Zappa on guitar, Ian Underwood on alto sax and piano, Bunk Gardner, tenor sax and clarinet, Euclid James Motorhead Sherwood on bari sax and tambourine, Roy Estrada on bass and vocals, Don and Preston on electronic piano and odd noises, Arthur Dyer Tripp III on drums and percussion, Jimmy Carl Black on drums, and members of the BBC Symphony Orchestra join in here and there. And is produced and arranged by Frank Zappa. So that is that particular one. So this has never been released on LP, officially, that is. This was designed as a compact disc release by Frank. And let's see. It is release number 63, or at least that's what it says on the cover. Let's double check the official list of Zappa releases. Let's see. This is actually number 64 when you configure everything. 63 was Civilization Phase 3. This is release number 64. Now, it originally came out on Barking Pumpkin Records. And it had a CD design. Let's see if we can show it here. It looked like this. It came out during Frank's lifetime. it's got all sorts of writing on it with the numbers and titles of the songs, as well as other things, the Barking Pumpkin Records logo and a coat of arms, an upside down foot, stuff like that. And then, once Rykodisc took over the distribution of Frank's catalog for a while, they changed the back of it a little bit, and they made a generic design of the CD like this, which in my opinion was one of the worst graphic choices that Rykodisc made. They had one photograph for the 60s, one for the 70s, and one for the 80s and 90s. That's about it. So, and Kevin also, I would say Dweezil's tour is a pretty good honorarium. And very excited about Dweezil's tour coming up. Also, the band from Utopia be touring the U.S. this summer and fall as well. Hang on a second, I'm just fixing something here. Okay. And there's DJ Trish. Hello, Trish. How are you doing? Good to see you as always. Still working on your stuff. I promise. I promise. I did some work on it this week. It's not done yet. Quality takes time. So, all right, more Zappa anniversaries of this week. Let me go back to that in the list. March 23rd. That's today. Tomorrow is the 24th. Well, as a matter of fact, in across the pond in Europe and beyond, it's already the 24th. And it is the anniversary of this lovely thing, Mother Mania, the best of the mothers, which came out in 1969 on the Bizarre and Verve label. This is kind of like a best of the Verve years of the mothers. And let's see, had a gatefold. The back's got some an article in German, and on the inside, you've got the close-ups of the oral areas of the the Mothers of Invention at that time, and even if you have all of these songs already on other Zappa releases, a lot of these songs are remixed and re-edited or different recordings. So very, very, very well done. Okay. And I have a second copy of this. Looks quite a bit newer. And hey, Chief Dancing Ostrich, good to see you as well. Happy to see you every week. Okay. The cool thing about this copy of Mother Mania is this was a re-release, a remaster on the Zappa Records label. And it has all of the original graphics restored. As you can see, front, back, and also the oral cavities of the mothers. But this also came out as a limited edition on the Newberry Comics label. And this is quite a cool looking one as well. Check it out. Mother Mania on purple. And let's see, how do they describe this here? It's the double circle splatter pressing, kind of like pink and purple. So that's a cool one there. And more album anniversaries are this week as well. It's just a week full of anniversaries. And birthdays, that is. The 25th, Monday, is Chad Wackerman's birthday. He will be turning 64. Also, the 25th is trumpeter Malcolm McNabb's birthday. It's also the anniversary of Frank's last concert in 1988, which was chronicled on this box set right here. The last U.S. show, Zappa 88. There's the maestro himself. Then, on the 26th, we have the anniversary from 1971 of Just Another Band from L.A., which is... Nope, that's wrong one. That's 200 Motels. That's, man, how many copies of that do I have? Here we go. Just Another Band from L.A., the album that has Billy the Mountain on it. Great stuff. And... let's see, let's put that next to Waka Jawaka because that's what came next. Also, 26th is Pierre Boulez's birthday. Also, the anniversary on the 26th of the CD Road Tapes Venue 3 came out. 28th is also the anniversary of The Man from Utopia by Frank Zappa. And the 28th is also anniversary from 1983 of the Baby Snakes soundtrack. And let's see, after that we're getting into next week, which a week from today will be the 30th. So we'll cover all those next week. Let's see, good evening, North California Vinyl Picker. Good to see you. And Howard Johnson. Wanna eat some clams? Okay. Now, we do have a another in memoriam here. Just found out earlier this week that we lost a famed British musician. We lost Steve Harley of Cockney Rebel. Now, this is the I believe the second Cockney Rebel album. I'm trying to remember the name of the first one, but this is the second one, Psychomoto, and this is the UK cover. The American cover had a picture of Steve Harley by himself on the front, and he was holding a telephone receiver with the cord coming out of it. It was kind of like almost a fold out or a die cut cover. But I love this album. Got songs like Psychomoto, Mr. Soft, Singular Band, Cavaliers. Oh, I love that song. Sling It and Tumbling Down. The one time that I did get to see Steve Harley and Cockney Rebel in concert was at the Allen Theater in Cleveland. And the band Man opened for them. And at the end of the show, they were doing Tumbling Down, and they were singing the ending chorus of the song, "Oh dear, look what they've done to the blues, blues, blues." And eventually they got the whole audience singing along with that. And they kept on going and kept on going and kept on going. The band stopped playing. The band left the stage. They didn't have a encore after that, but they kept on singing. Oh dear, look what they've done to the blues, blues, blues. Lights came up. People exited the Allen Theater. People were walking down Euclid Avenue in Cleveland singing, oh dear, look what they've done to the blues, blues, blues. It was a fun night. Subsequent albums. I have 3 different Steve Harley albums. The next one that I have is The Best Years of Our Lives, which I believe has his most popular track, which is Come Up and See Me, Make Me Smile. Huge hit in the UK. And I believe this album was produced by Steve Harley and Alan Parsons. He had a working relationship with Alan Parsons of the Alan Parsons Project. And as a matter of fact, on the iRobot, Steve Harley sang the lead vocals to the song The Voice. And then there's one more album that I have by Steve Harley and Cockney Rebel. The following album was Love's a Prima Donna. Ah, there he is. And yes, I think that you are absolutely correct about that, Kevin. I'd have to find it, though. It is online, believe it or not. And I've got another project going on with a lot of old record reviews that were horribly written. But I do make improvements on them. Anyway. But also, I remember reading in subsequent years after Cockney Rebel kind of disbanded. Well, I think basically Steve Harley used any band that he had at the time as a vehicle to use the name Cockney Rebel for. But I had read articles and confessionals that Steve Harley was a bit of a control freak and also kind of not a very nice guy to some of his band members. But once I heard that he passed away this week, I was looking for any of those stories. Couldn't find them. Let's see. We got lots of chats here. What's going on here? Do you have the book Zappi Family Trust Issues Guide by Ed and Scott Parker? You know what? I do not. I'm personal friends with Scott Parker, and there's a number of books that I want to purchase from him. So I'm going to get a few of those, especially these more recent ones called Mother People Volumes 1 and 2. It's actually the reprinting of an old Zappa fanzine. So I really do want to check that out. And let's see here. But yeah, rest in peace, Steve Harley. Raise a drink, alcoholic or otherwise. Yeah. New records. What have I gotten this week? Well, last week I showed a copy of Who's Next. I think I have that right around here someplace. Do I? No, it's over here. I haven't put it away yet. Let's see. Here it is. Showed you a copy of Who's Next that I had purchased at a flea market last week, and I was kind of doubtful about the quality of this because I've got another copy of this which is really, really well loved, well abused. And it plays all the way through, but it's really noisy. It's got a lot of scratches, ticks, and pops on it. But this one cleaned up really nice, and it sounds so much better. I've heard that the mastering on this is far superior to the newer versions that have come out, that have been mastered, I believe, by Rick Astley. Not Rick Astley, John Astley. And but I would like to hear the remix of this album by Steven Wilson, which when I heard about it made my eyebrows go up and down. So yeah, I did listen to that, and then I went to another. I went to a record show called Record Riot. There is it's kind of like a traveling record show that goes to different cities, and they've got a website, and it's different in every town every week and stuff. They do stuff all over the place, and I was looking around just for any good things. I did get for $2 a a very abused copy of Overnight Sensation. But a lot of times lately when I buy duplicates of Zappa albums, it's so I can take the covers and hang them up behind me. Hiya, Frank. How you doing? Let's see. Are you going to review your new record cleaning system? Yes, I am. I just have to find the time to shoot it and edit it, and it will be an update of my 2020 record cleaning video. So, also, did you check out Abigail DeVoe's review of Aostrophe on Vinyl Monday? It was awesome. It was fantastic. And yes, St. Brando, I do want to get the Deep Purple Machine Head box. It's just the only thing holding me back right now is the cost, because there's all sorts of other records that that I want to get. But I have heard a lot of good things about the remix of the Deep Purple Machine Head album that was executed by Dweezil Zappa. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to comment on it. But, excuse me, couple of really good records that I found at the Record Riot. Hold on, got to clean something up before it gets nasty. Is Love, Devotion, Surrender by John McLaughlin, Mahavishnu John McLaughlin, and Carlos Santana, who for a short time was known as Devadeep Carlos Santana, or as Kevin and I dubbed him, Double Dip Carlos Santana, who always got an extra scoop when he got a cone at Baskin Robbins. But I had heard a lot of things about this album not being that great, and then recently I was informed, because I was too ignorant to check it out myself, that the first two tracks on side one of this record is A Love Supreme and Naima. Yes, two John Coltrane tracks. And this is rather good. The recording quality isn't that wonderful. It's got here kind of like a whole commercial here for Love, Devotion, Surrender, written by John McLaughlin's guru, Sri Chimnoy. And that's him in between Carlos and John right there. But all in all, this is quite a good record. And, time has treated this well. It's from 1973, so it's more than 50 years old now. Now, look who has entered the chat room. Our good friend Joe himself. Oh, watching on his phone. He's checking up on me while he's eating at a restaurant. He must have a gig tonight. So hello, Mr. Vaultmeister. Happy to see you here. Okay, another question, Zappa related. Spaghetti Lee says, do you know how Dweezil got involved with Machine Head? Never connected Dweez with Deep Purple. What's up with that? Well, the connection is kind of obvious because of the song Smoke on the Water. The song Smoke on the Water, as many of you are already aware of it, you might not, so I'll explain it. Song Smoke on the Water is about something that happened in 1971 after the Montreux Jazz Festival. Well, during the Montreux Jazz Festival. Frank Zappa and the Mothers were at the best place around, and they were playing a concert, and as the song states, some stupid with a flare gun burned the place to the ground. As documented on the bootleg Swiss Cheese Fire, they're in the middle of doing a very long solo section on King Kong, and then all of a sudden they have to stop and they say, there's a fire. Everybody has to leave. So they exited the place, and just about all of the Mother's instruments got burned up or destroyed. I think there was like maybe one or two instruments that got saved. But that became a very historic incident, and it introduced and inspired the song, Smoke on the Water. So forever, Frank Zappa has been intertwined in folklore and in history with that record Machine Head, which became a very huge hit for Deep Purple. And I have also heard around the grapevine that Dweezil may be doing some other remix things in the near future. He hasn't been touring for a few years. He's going to be touring this year, but Dweezil's been keeping himself busy. He has not been letting moss grow underneath his feet, so that's a good thing. I wish him good thing. That's right, a cowbell survived. Yep. And what the world needs now is more cowbell. I had to say it. I'm sorry. So anyway, but I think Dweezil has chops. I mean, he definitely has chops on the guitar, but he's got chops behind the mixing board as well. He's done a lot of work on his own records, and I really would like to hear what he has done with putting together this Deep Purple album. And there's a Dolby Atmos and a 5.1 surround on that as well, with a Blu-ray, and of course a remastered vinyl on that. So yeah, I would be very interested to hear that. And here is a postscript from Kevin. It says, in his opinion, he doesn't think that McLaughlin and Santana, though I respect and love them both, do a Love Supreme justice, at least compared to Coltrane. Well, yeah, that's obvious, but they do an interesting jazz rock fusion version of it. But it's not as bad of an album as I originally thought it was going to be. So very good point indeed, Kevin. So back to this record show. I was looking for this record, and when it came up and I saw it for only $15, I nearly soiled my pants, boy. Check it out. Vincebus Eruptum by Blue Cheer. And see this stuff here on the cover? It is embossed. There's all sorts of... Take a look at how the light hits it. Yeah. Very nice 3D embossed early pressing of Blue Cheer, Vincebus Eruptum. One of the ways that you can tell that this is an early pressing, in addition to the embossed cover, hold on a second and I shall show you, is that on the record label, find it, Bill. Okay, on the record label itself, there is no producer credit on the label. Just about every other copy of this record, stereo or mono, and I've heard a lot of people say that the mono mix of this is better, but stereo mix is also pretty damn good. The other thing that is rare about this is on the back cover, there is a poem by Owsley, Augustus Owsley Stanley III. And on most copies, his name is not complete like that. It just says Owsley on it. So, this is a historic milestone and one of the first psychedelic records ever made. And yeah, proto-metal, Spaghetti Lee, proto-metal. I agree. And yes, Owsley is also known as Bear, if you are a Grateful Dead fan. So, I picked this up, and I was really, really worried about it, because on side 2, and I'm pretty sure this will be visible, take a look at the scratches on this. There are some very deep... Oh, look at that scratch! Oh, look at that scratch too! Look at those deep scratches on there. I was really scared that that was going to mess up the play on this record from 1968. But cleaned it, did the old ultrasonic areno on it, and turned out pretty good. The worst thing that I can say about this record is that during the guitar solo, there is there's a scratch and a very loud pop that comes up on that part of the record. But for the rest of the record, I was amazed by the sound. So happy that I got a hold of that. So that is cool. And let's see. Yes, you thought the cover was embossed, not the vinyl. Believe it or not, that was custom embossed. It's touchable, it's feelable. And I've got the only copy. Oh, very cool. That deserves another pour of the old Diet Coke on here. Yeah. And, let's see. The only other record I picked up was a copy of Ellington Indigos, which, if you're looking for some good basic Ellington, this is good. I believe this is from 1958 or 1959. And this is a mono copy. And it is, for those of you who fetish this stuff, it's a 6i Columbia. Oh, baby. Gotta love it. So. And Stedler Ricketts says, great way to market scratched vinyl. It's custom embossed. Yes. So you heard it here first. So if you see it on Discogs, say, ooh, this has custom embossing on the vinyl. Beware, folks. Beware. Oh, my. The louder I talk, the more that cough comes back. So, quick reminder, boys and girls. If you haven't got this already, what's keeping you from buying a copy? Get a copy of from me online. Go to Bandcamp and pick that sucker up. And if you don't have a vinyl way to play it, well, get yourself a download of it for the inexpensive price of $10. And let me put the banner up so I can show it to you. And yeah, there you go. Get that. And also, while we are at it, I might as well ask you to press the like button down here. And if you are not already subscribed to this channel, please do so. All right. So, there are no random 45s to show, but I wanted to say, I wanted to do something. I am on Facebook, and I'm on a lot of different vinyl collecting groups. And one thing that happens is a lot of people who are newcomers to the habit of record collecting, they always ask questions. Some of these questions are really good. Some of them are really bad. And the sad thing about a lot of forums on the internet, not just Facebook, but Reddit, Instagram, and other things like that, pardon me, I almost inhaled that. But a lot of times, somebody will ask a very valid question, and somebody will give that question a very snarky answer. Man, I apologize so much for my coughing. Okay, so I thought that I would read a couple of questions that I found that I think deserve to be addressed, or maybe do not deserve to be addressed. Let's start with the first one. I'm planning on buying a new turntable, and I want to use my disc washer brush for cleaning. Is belt drive or direct drive better for disc rotation during cleaning? It really shouldn't matter, is my answer to that question. Now, if you're wondering what a disc washer is, well, that's this thing right here. I have shown this in ancient videos on YouTube. This is something that was sold in the 1970s. It's called the disc washer. It was made by a company called Disc Washer. And it came with this fluid that you could put on this edge, and then you ran the record as the record was rotating. You ran it around there, and it picked up the dust and dirt and then dried the record off. It's pretty cool. As a matter of fact, they even gave you a little brush that you could use to clean off this thing. And this was wonderful. And Disc Washer made a whole bunch of cool products as well. They made the SC1 stylus brush, which had a nice little mirror on it. Hello, boys and girls. And they also made a thing called the Zerostat, which is still available, but it's not sold by Disc Washer. Some company called Milty bought it out. These things cost around $100, and these things are wonderful for keeping the static electricity off of your records. You just take a record if it's got the snip snaps of static electricity, or you can feel the hairs on your arm going up because of all the static electricity that was generated by playing the record. Just take this thing and you slowly squeeze the let's do it this way so you can see the trigger on it. With the finger on the trigger, yes, you squeeze it slowly. It releases positive ions. You release it slowly. It releases negative ions, thereby negating or stabilizing the electronic charge that is on this disc, helping to repel dust from the surface of the record, and also making it a little bit better sounding when it's played on the turntable. If you live in Cleveland like I do, and you got all sorts of static electricity during the winter, this is a wonderful thing. But getting back to the original question of belt drive or direct drive, well, first of all, you're not supposed to be playing the record while you clean it. You're not supposed to be pressing down on the record when you're cleaning it with this. Also, I very highly recommend a carbon fiber brush, such as the Audio Quest brush, which is... This is the newest version of it, which I believe contains, this is carbon fibers and conductive handle, so that all of the static electricity is supposed to go to ground on it. There are also other versions of that. A lot of other companies make these carbon fiber brushes. That's what they look like. And these, you just take this and it goes along on the record very slowly while you take the dust off of it and then take it off of the record. But it really shouldn't matter. Belt drive or direct drive, it does not matter whether or not, if you're using it properly. Okay? Next question. Has anyone ever used WD-40 for cleaning records? Yes, people have, is the answer for that. It's not a stupid question. People have. As a matter of fact, there have been people that use WD-40 and or rubbing alcohol to clean records. It's been known that record shops that sell used records will take lighter fluid even, put it on the record and rub it through so that you can get a very pristine looking surface, but also possibly damaging the surface on the record. I do not recommend using any oil-based solution or any alcohol-based solution on records, especially 78s, but that's a whole nother thing for a whole nother time. Use a cleaning fluid such as, got this TM8 Super Record Cleaning Fluid. That's one good thing. Mobile Fidelity also makes a good record cleaning fluid. Todd the Vinyl Junkie also makes a good cleaning fluid for records. But the best thing to clean records with is good old nothing but distilled water. Okay? Now, if you're going to scrub your records clean with distilled water and you want to add something to it, I would say add a drop of Dawn dishwashing detergent to a large amount of this stuff, just so you can turn it into a surfactant. But I digress. Distilled water is the best thing to clean your records with. If there's a company that makes a decent record cleaning fluid, buy that. Watch some videos. Find out about that. But don't use WD-40 on your records. It will not be good. All right. Next question. Every vinyl has a stamped number. If you Google that number, it tells you the year and where it was made. Really? I'm not too sure how accurate that is. The numbers and letters that are in the dead wax of a record, it's a whole science of its own. if you take a record and you look in the dead wax, you may see a stamped number in here, or you may see a written number in here. You may see the initials of the engineer that cut the lacquer of the record. You may see a secret inscription. Any record that was produced by Bill Simzik has stuff in the dead wax. But it's not a generic truth that every vinyl has a stamp number that if you Google that number, it will tell you the year and where it was made. That is not universally true. There may be some records that are like that. Next question. For those of you who ultrasonic clean your records and then rinse them to remove any possible residue, do or can you rinse under tap water, or should you use distilled water? Thanks in advance. Well, okay, that's a good question. If you've got a ultrasonic record cleaner, depending on what kind of ultrasonic record cleaner it is, you may have to pull it out of the solution or water, because personally, and here comes a big preview from my next record cleaning video, I have purchased this machine here. This is the Hummin Guru ultrasonic record cleaner. This thing is really good, but it's not the only thing that you should use in cleaning your records. That's a preview, okay? But this thing ultrasonically vibrates distilled water onto the record and gets deep inside of the grooves with cavitation. And once that's done, it drains the water out and dries the record clean. And once the drying cycle is done, you can take the record out and take a soft lint-free cloth and dab any other droplets out of there that you need to, out of it. But there are some ultrasonic cleaning systems that use some kind of a special solution, and then they want you to clean it. I recommend cleaning with only distilled water. Now, you can clean with tap water, but depending on your part of the country, there may be lime or other things in the water. The water that comes out of the tap, it's okay for drinking, but if you want to microscopically clean the records, distilled water is the best thing to clear stuff out. Some people even use reverse osmosis or filtered water. That's good too. Experiment, listen, enjoy, do what works best for you. But I would say distilled water is a good rule of thumb. Tap water is okay in most cases, but depending on how much you're spending on these records, if you're just cleaning up some old records you found at a garage sale, hey, that might be the good way to go. But still, I clean every record just about the same way. I even put brand new records through my cleaning process. So, more of that to come. Next question. How do people protect their collection in terms of insurance? I have my collection scanned into an app connected to Discogs, and I think the upper range in value is just under $50,000. I feel like I should document this on my homeowner's insurance policy just in case. A valid question, and I've heard that before. The best answer that I can come up for with that is that it depends on your insurance company. Check your policy for either your renter's insurance or your homeowner's insurance, and if necessary, talk to your insurance people. There are some insurance companies that will cover loss of records if they are stolen, if the house burns up or is flooded. It depends. And some of them will replace for replacement value. Some of them will look it up online and give you that value. Some of them may depreciate the value. Some of them don't think that records are worth what the free market price is on it. Also, it differs. Like, say, if you look on Discogs or if you look on PopPsych, they may give you different values of how much a record is worth. So, if your insurance company does cover loss of records, you have to have it documented. So if you do have a list of your records, and I keep two different lists. I keep Discogs, and I also have a Excel file, which I have a copy of on my computer, and I also have a copy in the cloud. So if something happens, I've got a list of all my records. And no, I don't have all of my records on Discogs. I have almost 2,200 of them, and I'm working on getting them all done. But yeah, it varies by insurance company, and every insurance company behaves differently. So that's a really good question about homeowners or renters insurance policy and your record collection. Next question: colored vinyl debate. Are colored vinyl records worth buying? Are they a money gimmick? Are they good or poor for sound quality? Yes and no to all of those. Because, if you're a collector and you want every version of an artist's record, if they come out with a black vinyl and a colored vinyl and you want to have them both, who are we to say that it's a bad thing to do? Sometimes an artist's record will only come out in a colored vinyl version. One thing that I would stay away from for most causes are glow-in-the-dark records. They are noisy as hell. And also records that have half one color and half another color, especially if it's any songs that have quiet sections. Because when you mix different colors in a vinyl record, a lot of times you will hear noise variations as you go around there. Now, on most records, if it's a colored vinyl record and the music gets going, most of the time you will not be hearing any sound deterioration or surface noise because it is a colored vinyl record. One guarantee, though, the closest thing to a guarantee, is the best sounding records will be black vinyl records made from virgin vinyl. That's the best way to say that. A close second, and there are people that would argue this, are the Clarity vinyl records on the Acoustic Sounds ultra high quality records. These are pretty much clear. They call this Clarity vinyl, and they say that it's the quietest vinyl in the world. I think that the jury is still out on that. One thing I will say, picture discs are always noisy. Picture discs are just for collecting. And then it says, are they a money gimmick? Oh yeah, they are. I mean, come on. Taylor Swift's coming out with her new album in like a billion different colored vinyls. And I'm sorry, lots of different types of colored vinyl. I don't want to say vinyls because that's wrong. And also, a lot of these different variations have different covers, and there's one different song. There's a bonus song that's different on each album. That girl knows how to make money. So, once again, do your research. Colored vinyl is not necessarily bad. There's a lot of solid colored vinyl, which sounds great because the technology is really getting way up there. Let's see. Oh, here is now, how did that happen? Was that because of this? That I got the fireworks there? I don't know. Anyway, next question is, when alphabetizing a record collection, where would you put Crosby, Stills, and Nash at? Personally, under C for Crosby. Now, a lot of people really got their panties up in a bunch, and their knickers as well, when iTunes came out, and if there was a record that was released by a solo artist, such as, come on, let's find one someplace. Here we go. John Anderson. In iTunes, he would be listed under J for John. But most people, when you catalog something, true archivists use the last name first. So this would be under A. However, when it comes to your record collection, it's personal and it's yours. So you do it the way that you want. Just stay consistent. That's the best way to do it. Let's see, what do we got here? It says, I remember colored vinyl was hard to find. Now you're going to get colored vinyl whatever you buy now. Yeah, I believe it. How you doing, Woody? All right. And let's see. What does Kevin say here? Derek Gripper is on tour in the U.S. If he's in your area, go see him. Also by Meh. It's a great record. Well, Derek Gripper is not on Meh, but I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to go listen to him after this show. I'm going to look him up and check him out. And chances are I'll be happy to do so. All right, one more question, because I got lots more, and then we will go through here. Uh-oh. All right, this is a long question, and I'll read it to you. This is posted in a one of the vinyl collector groups on Facebook. And it says here, I'm new to the group and loving what I'm seeing. Thanks for having me. Here's a quick vinyl question. A friend recently told me that any current record that is pressed is just digital music pushed onto vinyl and isn't as good as the old analog stuff. So, do I care and should not buy the new St. Vincent record, or is there something to what he said? Kinda sucked the wind out of the room for me, as I like a lot of the new artists. Well, that's a great question. Because, yeah, the majority of the newer releases that have been coming out are not recorded on analog tape recorders. They're recorded on computers or some sort of digital form. And a lot of the CDs that come out are compressed so that the CD sounds as loud as it can possibly get. They futz around with that because you've got this headroom on a CD, and you can make it so that anything that isn't super quiet on the record is super loud, and it jumps out of your speakers at you. And that's what makes CDs sound bad. You can't necessarily do that with a vinyl record because it won't sound good at all. With vinyl records, you have to take a lot more care in mastering. And you have to take a lot more care in when you cut the master record and when you do the plating and the pressing and making of a vinyl. There are a lot of modern digitally recorded albums that sound better on vinyl because they have more dynamic range. The recordings breathe a bit more. It sounds better. So in some cases, they will take a digital copy of a record and just slam it on the vinyl, and it won't sound that good. But there are a lot of digital recordings that sound much better on vinyl than on digital. It all depends on what's happened in the stages of taking that original recording and mastering it on to records or CDs or streaming or whatever. So, I mean, I love vinyl because it's something tangible. It's something that's big enough to look at. Somebody stated the other day that if I've got a bunch of digital files, I can just grab a CD drive and burn a CD and pop that in my CD player. If you still have a CD player in your car, you can pop that into there too. You can make a new CD. If you've got nothing but CDs and something happens to them, oh, chances are you've got them ripped onto your hard drive, and you won't lose those because it's not tangible. In the old days, people would take their albums and they would record them onto cassettes. I mean, for a while, like back in the late 70s, early 80s, when I got a new album, I would record it onto a cassette and put the record on the shelf and just keep it clean. Not play it unless I absolutely had to. So, cassettes, you can record them. CDs, you can burn them. But this thing, you've got the front cover, the back cover, you've got the gatefold. A lot of times you've got the lyrics on an insert, and it's big enough so that you can see it. And when you take it out, and you take this lovely piece of vinyl, and you caress it this way, where you touch it only on the edge or the label, you put it down there, and you wipe the dust off, and you put that needle down, it's bliss. This is why people seek out advice on their audio systems. This is why they spend more money on upgrading their vinyl playback systems, their speakers, their headphones, their amplifiers, because they love the way their favorite music sounds. It's all about the music. And if you can bring yourself one step closer to a live performance of your favorite music in your listening space, it will make you so happy. So that's what makes this wonderful hobby of collecting vinyl so wonderful and so frustrating and so expensive. And like the cartoon says, well, the thing that attracted me to vinyl was the expense and the hassle, the inconvenience. So, what can you do? All right, let's take a look at some more of the chat room, and then we're going to say goodnight here. Let's see. Okay, back to talking about record cleaning. Yeah, Kevin has very hard water. I would guess that it's very possible that that your water is even more harder than Cleveland water. You never know. Let's see. I showed that already. Oh, yeah. I absolutely hate the iTunes style of alphabetizing. You do not alphabetize by an artist's first name. No. Greg, I love that you've taken your stand. Very good. All right. What else we got here? Ooh, you got a sealed first press 200 motels. Hopefully, you also have a copy that you can pull out and play, too. So, that's that. All right. I think I pretty much addressed everything. Let's change the setting on the synthesizer. I'm not even looking at it. I'm just pressing the patch change button blindly. And I'm going to start turning it on, and then we will say goodnight. I want to thank you all so much for stopping by and checking out the Box of Sound tonight. In all probability, I'll be here next week talking to you some more. And keep on listening to music. I had a great time, and I hope you did too. And hey, go listen to some music, have some fun, stay tuned for your local news, except on the West Coast. Affiliates, we've gone a little over tonight, so hey, chill out. It's the weekend, it's a slow news day anyway. So, let's play some music. Ooh, that's cool. All right, till next week. Good night, everybody. That's it. Good night.